and you wanted to get some more information on this property, and it was listed by a commercial broker. And we'll just say it's C.B. Richard Ellis, just to throw out a company. When you call the commercial broker, you want to call and get some information on this property. There's really one or two things you want to ask for. What is the one or two things you want to ask for when you call them?
Is it for sale or lease?
If you want a package of information from them, what's that package called?
Marketing package.
Yeah, marketing package. Marketing package, I think I heard it over here too. Setup, you say setup package? Setup package or marketing package. So you might want to write that down. Setup package, marketing package, and then sometimes what I'll have on top of it is an offering memorandum. It'll say right at the top, offering memorandum right on the top of it. But it's a little formal. We don't usually say, can you send me an offering memorandum? We might say, can you send me an OM? Then you send me an OM. The most common, it seems, is setup package or marketing package or OM. Okay? I had an agent that wrote that name down wrong and called a commercial broker. She emailed Kelly, my assistant, a while ago and said, you know, I think I wrote the name down wrong because when I called the commercial broker, I asked for this, and the commercial broker hung up on me. And I thought, oh my gosh, it's kind of rude, right? But so what you might want to do is when you make the call to a commercial broker, just make sure you go back, review what you've written down here, where you wrote it down, so that you're saying the right things. One of the other things that I've heard is that there's a little bit of a phobia sometimes about calling commercial brokers and asking for information, because sometimes they might know that I'm a residential agent, they might not want to work with me, or they don't cooperate. Have you guys ever heard any of those things? Yeah.
They don't respect it.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing. Let me ask you a question. How many of you like to work with an agent on the other end of the deal that has no idea what they're doing? See, no hands went up in the room. So if you show up to this commercial broker and you look like or sound like you don't know what you're doing, well, no, they don't. Nobody wants to do, you know, our job, one side of the job, the other side of the job, other side of the job, and then share the commission. Nobody likes to do that. So if you show up and you sound like you don't know what you're doing, then you know they probably aren't going to want to work with you. On the other hand, if you show up and you sound like you know what you're doing and you're confident, they're usually going to hit the button, go ahead and send you the marketing package, and at least you can get the information. And then you might get the information and go, oh my gosh, you know, now what do I do with all this? But at least you can get the information. So would it be helpful for you if I gave you a script that I use a lot of times when I call a commercial broker? Yeah? How many of you guys want a script that I give? Okay, great. The reason I keep doing this is only to keep you like here, because what happens is our heads every 7 seconds start going elsewhere. So that's why I do that a lot. Okay, so I'll say it and then I'll come back and explain it. Hi, it's Michael. I was calling from KW Commercial. I was wondering if that property is still available, and do you happen to have any of their offers on that property? And oh, by the way, do you want me to write that? Can you send me a setup package or a marketing package? And oh, by the way, do you want me to write the offer up on an A.A.R. agreement, an A.I.R. agreement, or we accept an LOI? Now, what does that sound like? It sounds like you know what you're doing. And so if you say something similar to that, doesn't have to be exactly that, the agent's going to go, okay, they know what they're doing, and they're going to probably send you the information. So I'll say it again. Hi, it's Michael. I'm calling from KW Commercial. Now, the reason I say KW Commercial, it doesn't matter what company you're with, just don't sound residential. Keller Williams is known as a residential firm, a large residential firm. So I don't want to sound residential. That's why I say KW Commercial. It doesn't matter, like I said, what your company is. Just maybe if it's a residential name, consider modifying that name if it's okay with your brokers or managers. Hi, I'm calling with the commercial division. Hi, I'm calling with the investment division. All of that is all right. I was wondering if that property is still available. Do you happen to have any other offers? Can you send me a setup package or a marketing package? Oh, by the way, if you want me to write the offer up on an A.A.R. agreement, an A.I.R. agreement, or we accept an LOI. A.A.R. or LOI. So now A.A.R., what does that stand for? Arizona Association of Realtors. So if the broker says to you, oh, I don't mind, just put it on AA form, that's fine, I don't care, whatever form you want. You can just log it to zip forms and use the form that matches the product type. So if it's a multifamily property, you should log in and use the residential income purchase agreement. And by the way, in my opinion, you should use that even if it's 2 units, or 3 units or 4 units, because it has all the language in there already that you probably are going to need. Have you ever seen an agent write an offer on a residential agreement, and maybe it's 3 units, and they'll write in language into the contract, security deposits to be transferred, things like that? Have you ever seen that? Well, what for the attorney in the room? What are they doing when they are doing that? They're practicing law, right? They're practicing law. So attorneys say don't do that. And if you use a residential income purchase agreement, it has all that language in there already, and you don't need to write it in. Okay. So as far as I'm concerned, any number of units, that residential income purchase agreement will work, will apply. Now, if it's a space like this, if it's commercial, and the broker says, oh, I don't care, write it up on anything you want, A.A.R. is fine, then you can log the zip forms and use a commercial purchase agreement. Okay? So that's A.A.R. Now, A.I.R. is American Industrial Real Estate. American Industrial Real Estate. Are there any members of an A.I.R. in here? You are? Okay. So you are as well. So A.I.R. has networking. They have a lot of time. Are you guys members of A.A.R. also? Of the A.A.R. or N.A.R.?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you?
Yeah.
Okay. He answered for him. He wasn't sure. Okay, that's it. Well, sometimes the commercial brokers don't join the association or NAR, and so they'll join AIR as an alternative. And it has some forums in there, and it has some networking events and things like that. So but the AAR also now has some AIR forms in there. As long as your broker has checked the box saying, yes, I'd like the AAR, as long as they check the box saying, I'd like the AIR forms attached to their profile, when you log in, you'll see the AIR forms and you can get access to them. Okay, so if the broker says, no, I only want an AIR, you can just hang up and say, okay, no problem, I'll take care of that. And you hang up and go ahead, log into zip forms, and you should be able to get access to those forms. If your broker has not, you can still get access directly to it through AAR, okay? So that's A.A.R. and AIR. What's an LOI? Letter of intent. Yeah, pretty much everybody seems to know what letter of intent is. I've seen 1 page, I've seen 2, I've seen 3. Letter of intent are just the basic deal points, the price, the escrow period. Now, a lot of times what we'll do is most of the properties are subject to interior inspection, so why do all this paperwork on a full purchase agreement only for the buyer to do an interior inspection and say, I don't want it. So a lot of times what we'll do is we'll do a letter LOI, and then we'll do an interior inspection, and then after the interior inspection we'll do a full purchase agreement. Okay? So did I explain that okay? All right. Now remember, a lot of times I'm going to give you suggestions on what contracts to use and things like that. I think I have a couple of contracts in your book. I know when some people go on from this class to some of our other classes, like 3-day events, where I give you downloads of contracts that you can modify and use. And I don't mind you using any of this stuff. That's why I do this. All I ask is that you don't get us in trouble. You know, make sure what I'm saying, just because I say it doesn't mean it's okay for your managers or brokers. So just run it by them and make sure they're okay with anything before you start doing it. If you would, that'd be great. Would you do that for me? Would you do that for me?
Yes.
Okay, great. All right, I appreciate it very much. All right, so is that helpful?
Yes.